What if I told you that the way you're practicing and the way everyone's teaching you to practice is completely backwards? You start your practice session with your hands on the bass. You start playing. You play your scale, run the arpeggio, you loop the lick. But what if that approach was hindering you? What if you could train your brain and ears first so that by the time you start playing, by the time your fingers touch the strings, everything already feels clear and musical and familiar? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to break down my head, ear, hand, say, sing, play method and show you how to use it to focus your practicing, internalize new ideas faster, and unlock the musical instincts you've been chasing. Hey everybody, Lauren Cohn here. Welcome back to the channel. Before I continue, just want to encourage you to please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so that YouTube learns that these videos are helping people and sends these videos out to other bass players and that I can keep providing this information for you. Please do that right now. Before we talk about practice routines, we need to face one simple, often overlooked truth, and that's this. You are the instrument, okay? The bass, this thing, this piece of wood here and metal, this is just the vehicle. But here's what most bassists do. They treat the bass like it's supposed to create the music for them. They start with their hands on the bass always without a concept, without hearing anything, without understanding anything. They try to just play their way into fluency by just playing more, hoping that they'll stumble into something musical. But let me be blunt. You cannot develop your musical instincts without a concept. If you want to feel confident when you play, if you want to improvise freely and fluently, you kind of have to flip the process. You can't start with your hands. You can't start at the technical, or as I like to say, the tactile level with our fingers and our hands. If you start here with you by developing your internal musician, that's how you practice to train your mind and ear to understand the music so that when your hands get involved, they're just reacting. They're just basically following orders. So let me say that again. The bass is the outlet. It's just the speaker. It's the tool. The real music comes from inside you. And if you're skipping that internal work, if you're not developing your inner musician first, you're always going to feel like you're chasing something on the instrument. Once you flip that process, everything changes. So that brings us to the first level of this framework, and that's the head level, or the level of say. Okay, this is about understanding, not guessing, not memorizing shapes, not really knowing what you're doing before you play a single note. If you can't say it, if you can't tell me what you're doing, you don't really know it, all right? So let's say you're working on a 2-5-1 in the key of C, okay? You should be able to tell someone, to tell me 2 chord, D minor 7, D, F, A, C, all right? 5 chord, G7, G, B, D, F. 1 chord, C major 7, C, E, G, B. This is without your hands touching the bass, without your hands touching a keyboard, just being able to literally tell me this quickly before you touch the bass. If you can't do that, go back, get clear on this. Get a legal notepad, a yellow notepad. Just write this out, all right? Write the chords and the notes out. 50, 75 times, as many as you need to really ingrain that in your brain. Because when you do that, when you know it, when you're able to say it to somebody, everything that follows is going to become infinitely easier. After the head level, where you can say to somebody, you can tell somebody what it is that you're working on, then we move on to the second level of the framework. That's the ear level. And at this level, it's about singing what you are working on. It's about internalization. You're building a sound picture in your mind so that when you finally do play, your fingers are just following your ear. This is where the real phrasing starts, the real internalization. This is where musical decisions come from. So before you touch your bass, sing the phrase, okay? Head level, you can tell me and you can say what you're doing. Ear level, you can sing it now. You can sing what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you have a great voice. This is not about a great voice. It's not about performing. You're just programming your musical brain. Because here's the truth. If you can't sing it, you most likely won't be able to execute it because you haven't really internalized it. So let's go back to our 2-5-1 framework, right? So 2 chord. You told me that the notes are D, F, A, C. Now can you sing that for me? You can give yourself a note, not expecting you to have perfect pitch. D, D, F, A, C. 5 chord. G7, G, B, D, F, 1 chord, C major 7, C, E, G, B. All right, now I've said it. I know what it is. I've heard it. I've internalized it. I've sung it. And now we can move on to the third and final level, which is now putting it on the bass. So at this third final level, this is the hand level or play. So we've done say, which is head, sing, which is ear, and now hand, which is play. This is where we get to the execution. This is where everything comes together. This is that tactile level. It's almost like digital, just our fingers, right? But notice, this is last, okay? This is the last piece of the puzzle. You've already done the hard work. You understand what you're playing. You've internalized the sound. You've sung it. And now the last piece of the puzzle is finding the notes on the bass, execution. Now, I don't mean to minimize this. Okay, there's obviously challenges, technical challenges that we all have to face. But this is the last piece of the puzzle, right? Let's play it. Okay, and then I would work that, however I would work that on the instrument to now ingrain that at the hand level. And now when you play, it's not just muscle memory, which is important. It's musical memory. It's not what note comes next. It's how do I express what I'm already hearing? And this is when your technique serves the music, not the other way around. When you practice like this, when you say, sing, and then play, your confidence skyrockets, your musical decisions get bolder, and you sound more like you. Now here's my challenge for you. I want you to take something you're working on today, a lick, a scale, a progression, whatever, and I want you to walk through all these three levels before you play a note. Then I want you to come back here and leave a comment. If you want to learn even more about those first two levels, the head and the ear levels, click here.